जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जन यमुनतीरवनचारि। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जन यमुनतीरवनचारि। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जन यमुनतीरवनचारि। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा गोपी वल्लभ राधा गोपी वल्लभ राधा जय राधा गोपी वल्लभ राधा गोपी वल्लभ राधा जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय गौर हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। भक्त जनार्दन राधा गोपी वल्लभ की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय। श्री गौर निताय भगवान की जय। श्री भगवान की जय। कल गोपाल तुलसी महारानी की जय। निताय गौर सत्य मन all assembled devotees की जय। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं तद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्य श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम राम। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदाय ते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम नमः। नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गो ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगदिताय कृष्ण नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण कृष्णाय श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नाम नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी विचारणे निर्विशेष पश्चात स्थाने। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर साधु गौरव हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। ओम करोति वाचालं पंगुं गायति गिरिं यत्कृपातमं वन्दे श्री गुरु दीनतारिणं श्री परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरं ओम पवित्रो पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थं गतोऽपि वा यत्स्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्ष सभ्याभ्यन्तरं श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु। यतो दर्पणमर्जनं भवमहद्भावाग्निर्वापरं श्रेयकैरिव चन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सत्त्वस्तपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनं नाम नमकारिभुवनानिधि सर्वशक्तिस्तत्रनिमित्तस्मरेण एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममपि दुर्दैवं दृश्यं ये जानन्दाघ ऋणादपि सुनिचेनातरोऽपि सहिष्णुम् अरणीयमानदेन कीर्तनैः सदा हरि न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितं वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतद्भक्तिरवैतकी त्वयि ऐनवतरुजिकिङ्करवति तमां विषमे भवाम्बुध कृपया तव पादपङ्कजसद्गुणसदर्शं विचिन्तया नयनं गलदशुद्धारया वदनं गद्गदं गिरं किरण च तमोपगदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति योगायितं निमिषेण चक्षुषा प्रवर्षायितम् शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दं विरहे शिवापादरतं पिनस्त्वमादर्शनमर्महतां करोतु मां यथा तथा विदधतो लम्पतो मात् प्रणनाथस्त्वेव नाम। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhujis and Matajis.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Mataji,
Hare
Shilpa
Krishna,
Mataji,
Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam, Srinivas Prabhu, Vanilla Mataji, Spara Prabhu, Nirpa Mataji, Dasraj
Hare Krishna,
Prabhu,
Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Surendra Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Hare
Dandavat.
Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Saraswati
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna,
Dandavat
Prabhuji,
Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Shirsha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Dandavat Pranam. Shri Giriraj Prabhu, Lavanya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Pranam.
Srinivas Sale Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Kavita Mataji,
Dandavat
Dandavat
Pranam,
Pranam.
Prabhu.
Thank you for joining.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. New entry, new joining.
No, you are the oldest. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Pavan Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Sandhya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Santosh Saitya Prabhu, Mataji and family, Dandavat Pranam. Lakshmi Mataji and your father, Dandavat Pranam. Prasad Javadi Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Madhavi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for
Hare
joining.
Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Lakshman Kumar Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Sunil Sachdev Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Padma Mataji, Arvind Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5.16 chapter. The descriptions of Jambu Dvipa. Right? So I'm reading the first text. I'll read the Sanskrit and then I'll repeat the translation and then we'll go forward. Hare Krishna. Uktas Tvayabhu Mandalayam Vishesho Yavad Adityas Tapati Yatra Chashau Jyotisham Ganesh Chandrama Vasaha Drishyate. In translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. King Parikshit said to Sukadeva Goswami, O Brahmana, you have already informed me that the radius of Bhumandala extends so far as the sun spreads its light and heat, and as far as the moon and all the stars can be seen. So here is being talking about the Bhumandala. Purport, let's read the purport. In this verse, it is stated that planetary system known as Bhumandala extends to the limits of the sunshine. According to the modern science, the sunshine reaches Earth from a distance of 93,000 miles. Sorry, 90, what's it? 9 crore 30 lakh miles. 93 million miles rather. If we calculate according to this modern calculation, 93 million miles can be considered the radius of Mandala. In Gayatri Mantra, we chant Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha. The word Bhur refers to Bhumandala. Tat Sabitur Varenyam. The sunshine spreads throughout the Bhumandala. Therefore, the sun is worshipable. The stars, which are known as nakshatra, are not different suns, as modern astronomers suppose. From Bhagavad Gita 10.21, we understand the stars are similar to the moon. Nakshatranam aham shashi. Like the moon, the stars reflect the sunshine. Apart from the modern distinguished estimations of where the planetary system are located, we can understand that the sky and its various planets were studied long before Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled. Sukadeva Goswami explained the location of the planets, and this indicates that the information was known long before Sukadeva Goswami related to Maharaj Parikshit. The location of the various planetary systems was not unknown to the sages who flourished in this Vedic age. Hare Krishna. So here, something inconceivable is being discussed, right? Jambudvipa. We don't know our planet properly. This planet Earth itself, we don't know much about it. We're still discovering. It humbles the science if we say they have not even understood 1% of it yet. Right? And in the future purports, Prabhupada also explains if someone tries to understand what is this universe, what is this Bhuloka, Bhumandala, right? He'll only just humble himself. He can't understand much. So I don't know if I can play a video. There is a video. I think it's a good idea to play that video before we begin on this chapter, because we need to visualize what is going to be told in this chapter, right? This is an old video made by a devotee for the Vedic Planetarium. I just play it, everybody watch it, and then we might be able to relate a little of what we are discussing here. Right, so I'll try to share my screen. Let me go, yes, here. I don't know if the sound will come. Is the sound coming?
In Zoom, sound will not come, Prabhuji.
Zoom sound will not come? No, there should be a way, right? No, there should be a way for allowing the sound to
You have
come.
to change the source. I don't know where.
Prabhuji, when you're sharing the screen, you can there is an option to share the sound also.
Yes, unshare and reshare, Prabhu.
Please unshare once, and again when you share, you have an option. When you try to share,
Okay, now I'm
There
sharing.
is an option called include computer
you'll have
sound.
the share computer sound or computer audio.
I have clicked on share. Share sound. Correct. I got it. Now tell me if the sound is coming.
So at the bottom of the planetary display,
Yes, sir.
we have
Coming?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Perfect.
Okay, great. Now let us go ahead and watch this video for a few minutes. Watch carefully. Hare Krishna.
So at the bottom of the planetary display, we have Shesha holding up the earth. This is Shesh, the empowered incarnation. There we have Ananta speaking Bhagavatam to the four Kumaras, and above the 7 subterranean planets. Here we can see Jambudvip, the central island of Bhumandala, and Bharatvarsha is situated on the southern side of that. There's 8 other Varshas with Ilavrita Varsha in the center, various supporting mountains with large trees upon them, described in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the very center of Ilavrita Varsha is Mount Meru, Golden Mountain. Atop Mount Meru are the cities of important demigods, Lord Brahma in the center, the 8 Dikpalas in the cardinal directions and sub-directions. Moving out, we can see the broader Bhumandala, 7 concentric islands and oceans surrounding them. The 7th of these islands is Pushkaradweep. On that island is Manasotra mountain, and on the mountain there's various cities of demigods such as Indra. Out further is Lokaloka mountain. These large elephants stand atop Lokaloka mountain to balance Bhumandala. Outside of Lokaloka mountain is Aloka Varsha, which is dark. The rays of the sun and the other luminaries extend up to Lokaloka mountain. On Manasotra mountain here on Pushkaradweep, the sun travels above this mountain at the southernmost point of its annual orbit. Above Bhumandala is Bhuvarloka, which is the residence of the Charanas, Siddhas, Yakshas, Gandharvas. And above there is Swargaloka, beginning from the sun and extending up to the pole star Dhruvaloka. This is the moving part of the planetary display. Here we can see the sun and the moon moving in their chariots. The chariots are being drawn by horses moving in the anti-clockwise direction, but they're traveling with the wheel of time moving in the clockwise direction faster, so it looks as if they're moving backwards. Above them the zodiac of stars, more planets, and another realm of stars. So here we can see everything moving with the Kala Chakra, circumambulating the axis that connects Mount Meru with Dhruvaloka. Above these planets, we come to the planet of the seven sages, the Saptarshi. You can see them here. They're commonly known as the Big Dipper, and then Dhruvaloka, the pole star. On the ocean of milk situated there, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, who is the Paramatma within everyone's heart, he resides on Anantashesh. Moving up beyond there, we have Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka. In this video, we haven't included many of the details for there, but on Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, we have residences of the Lord, such as Lord Varaha, Lord Vamana, and so on. Here's Brahmaloka, and on Brahmaloka, we also have a form of the Lord Gachibowli Vishnu as the Sahasrashesha Purush. Beyond there is the seven coverings of the universe, earth, water, fire, etc. And outside of the universes is the abode of Lord Shiva, Shiva Loka. There he resides eternally. Beyond Shiva Loka, we come to Mahavishnu, Karanodakashaya Vishnu, with innumerable universes that are emanating from the pores of his transcendental body. Here you can see him being served by Rama Devi. Then we come to the Brahmajyoti, the effulgence of the Lord's transcendental body. Penetrating through the Brahmajyoti, we come to the Vaikuntha planets. We're showing 24 planets of the Vaikuntha realm in this model. The Lord with 4 arms is holding the conch, disc, club, and lotus, and the various combinations of those 4 make 24. Then we come to Goloka Vrindavan. Here we can see Radha Madhava, but we'll also be showing the other primary rasas. Krishna with the cowherd boys, Krishna being served, Krishna with Mother Yashoda. So this is an overview of the planetary display to be shown in the main dome of the temple.
Haribol. Did you all see that?
Prabhuji, can you please share this video's link, Prabhuji?
Yeah, you can find it. It's very easy. It's in YouTube. I'll share it.
Thank you.
Share it. Yeah. So this is the exact model, or near to this model, or maybe better than this, is going to be displayed in the Vedic Planetarium in Mayapur. And this was Srila Prabhupada's desire, that he wanted to show the whole universe, all the scientists, what they cannot see, or they cannot even comprehend. And this is as per the scripture. And today, to some extent, what we are going to read is going to be in line with that. So Jambu Dvipa is that island on which all these mountains are there, and between there is Mount Meru, right? On top of Mount Meru, there is Brahma's palace, and all the other primary demigods. So as we go forward, we're going to read this. But let me tell you, Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, A Brahma Bhavana Loko Puraravartino. From that planet on the top in the material world to the lowest planet in the Patala, including Brahma and a small ant, has to take birth and has to face death again and again and again. And everybody in this material world is going to suffer. So what we just saw is the jurisdiction of Dukhalaya, right? In a way, everything if that is temporary, it keeps manifesting and unmanifesting, and Dukhalaya, right? Now, while we read, actually there's not much to discuss in this chapter. It's more about just understanding the varieties of Krishna's creation, just appreciating. And if we can comprehend, it is that 1% of what Krishna can do, right? And where are we in this entire universe? We are not even a speck of a dust in this entire universe, the Bhumandala that we just saw. When I say we, Earth planet, not our house, we thought don't even exist. It's like totally that micro organism. We are that much, right? And in that, the size of our soul is explained 1/10 of the tip of a hair, right? 1/10,000 the tip. So it's like, where are we? And still we have the ego of saying God doesn't exist. Right? That is the most funny part. The world says God doesn't exist. Scientists say God don't exist. Who are we to say? And who cares? Who cares if you say or not? Huh? The universe is created by the Supreme Lord, and it's really humbling, actually, the whole structure. So I'm just going to read some translation, and we'll go forward with it. But it's so humbling to even trying to understand. So I'm reading the second text. My dear Lord, the rolling wheels of Maharaj Priyavrata's chariot created 7 ditches in which the 7 oceans came into existence. Because of the 7 oceans, Bhumandala is divided into 7 islands. You have given a very general description of their measurement, name and characteristics. Now I wish to know of them in detail. Kindly fulfillment is that now Priyavrat Maharaj has gone on a chariot and 7 ditches have created 7 oceans. So what is the size of the chariot? And who is this Maharaj Priyavrat? Right? It's humbling even to imagine. But the unimaginable is what is Krishna. A lot of people try to imagine God and God's greatness by our unimaginably useless, stupid, minuscule brain. How can you imagine that? The unlimited with the limited, right? You can't measure the earth with a small scale in your hand. Can you? Can't measure. You can measure your own house with a small scale. It will take 2-3 days to measure it. And we are trying to measure the greatness of God with our funny-looking laboratories and maybe some perverted reflected physics subject, physics, mathematics, statistics, the perverted subjects, because they can't really be used to understand God. Any subject which is not useful to understand God is useless. The subjects are there, okay, they are there, but people think that understanding the subjects, doing a PhD in mathematics, doing a PhD in chemistry, doing a PhD in physics, doing a PhD in English, they've achieved something in life. Well, yeah, they've achieved madness. That's all it is. Some sort of an arrogance. Yeah, I got. But that knowledge is not useful to understand God. You can't use those formulas to understand this universe. And how many such universes are there? It's more and more humbling as you go closer and closer. You ultimately become humble in front of Krishna. Oh, Krishna, who am I dealing with? That's exactly was the state of Arjuna when Arjuna saw Krishna, Vishwarup, became very humble. What is this, Krishna? I was treating you like a friend, but you're Vishwarup. You showed all the universes are coming out of your pores of your skin, and people are already dead. You already know you're Trikalagyan. You have everything in front of you. What did I just see? I can't conceive. It's very scary. I can't deal with you like this. Please come back to your original form to which I was interacting in the past. So in the same way, Prabhujan Mataji, if somebody tries to explain or show you the universe, you'll automatically become humble. There is, the more closer you go to Krishna, our ego will be crushed. What are we? 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 1,000 square feet is our life. That's all, right? Barely we can survive, and a little bit of land here and there if we have, right? And for that only we are feeling as if we have conquered the whole world. Somebody feels, I have created a state. Recently, Telangana state was created. The chief minister of boasting, I created the state. Separate Telangana. What power does he have? Unfortunately, his daughter got arrested for whatever. It's proven or not is a different thing. But what could he do? He can't do anything. It's a recent incident, I'm saying. What could he do? In the very state that he fought for, she's arrested and she's taken away. And so can one day even he or many others. Many great leaders got arrested. Many great kings, they got arrested and even killed in their own kingdoms, the kingdom that they were proud of. Many scientists have come up with so many theories, right? So many theories of their understanding, and that theory was completely smashed by the next scientist. What were you speaking? Anyway, Prabhupada humbles us by his purports also in this chapter. Let's try to read. Let's try to read. So, text 3. When the mind is fixed upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his external feature made of the material modes of nature, the gross universal form, it is brought to the platform of pure goodness. In that transcendental position, one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, who is his subtler form, who in his subtler form is self-effulgent and beyond the modes of nature. O my Lord, please describe vividly how that form, which covers the entire universe, is perceived. Now here, Maharaj Parikshit is trying to see the Supreme Lord in his universal form. So bhakti has not gone. He's still, even though he's asking, tell me how the universe is, but he wants to see it in relation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's the difference between a scientist and a devotee. A devotee also wants to see the science of the universe, but he gets amazed at how this little boy, Krishna, could do all this. And how great is this little boy? How unlimited is he? How am I a servant of him eternally? Right? But a scientist, he finds out a little bit of it and he becomes egoistic that, God could not find out, I found out. Such a foolish thing, right? God could not find out. God only created it. But you're rejecting God. So here in purport, Prabhupada explains, in our preaching work, last paragraph, he says, in our preaching work also, we deal with so much property and money and so many books bought and sold, but because these dealings all pertain to Krishna conscious movement, they should never be considered material. That one is absorbed in thoughts of such management does not mean that he is outside of Krishna consciousness. If one rigidly observes the regulative principles of chanting 16 rounds of Mahamantra every day, his dealings with the material world for the sake of spreading Krishna conscious movement are not different from the spiritual cultivation of Krishna consciousness. So every service that we do is Krishna consciousness. Everything that we do, making a report, sending a report, doing Rath Yatra, doing chanting, giving a lecture, hearing a lecture, preparing for a lecture, preparing a presentation, buying a laptop for satsang, developing a center, a temple, buying land for Krishna, demolishing an old house and building a temple. Everything is Krishna consciousness. This is Krishna in relation to that. Why is Prabhupada saying this? Because the question at the outset appears to be like a material question. I want to see the universe. But then this question is related to Krishna. So anything that is related to Krishna, even though a materialistic person also does the same thing, but it becomes spiritual. That's what Prabhupada is explaining, even though Parikshit Maharaj is speaking. So now Sukadeva Goswami is saying, the great Rishi Sukadeva Goswami said, my dear king, there is no limit to the expansion of Supreme Personality of Godhead's material energy. This material world is the transformation of the material qualities, Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, and Tamo Guna. Yet no one could possibly explain it perfectly, even in a lifetime as long as that of Brahma. Sukadeva Goswami is saying, even if you have as big lifetime as Brahma, you can't explain a material world. Forget about spiritual world. No one in the material world is perfect. And an imperfect person could not describe this material universe accurately, even after continued speculation. O king, I shall nevertheless try to explain to you the principal regions such as Bhuloka, Bhugoloka or Bhuloka, with their names, forms, measurements, and various symptoms. So Sukadeva Goswami is going to enter into this Bhuloka and try to explain its names, qualities, the mountains, right, the valleys, the rivers, the nectar, the demigods, how they live, how they eat. Now, whatever is going to be mentioned here, I'm telling you, it's far beyond our imagination, because even in this world, we can't imagine so many what to speak. And we start speculating. Prabhupada is saying, Sukadeva Goswami is saying, people, even after continued speculation, can't understand this. Prabhuji and Mataji, there are organizations which have come up with speculations, weird speculations. Then they call themselves spiritual organizations. Huh? They say that, Satya Yuga is going to come in another 1 year. Last 20 years, they are doing business saying it's going to come in 1 year. Every time you go and ask, when is it coming? They'll say, no, you give donation and do some tapasya. Satya Yuga is coming in 1 year. If you don't do tapasya now, you'll become an animal in Satya Yuga. If you do tapasya now, you'll become a devata in Satya Yuga. Huh? And there are fools, idiots falling for this kind of theories. And they pay huge amounts of money. Huh? You go to such organizations, they'll give you stone and tell, meditate on that stone. At a stone, even I can find outside on the road also. But they will make you believe that that stone will talk to you. It's so funny that, people speculate so many things without understanding it from scripture, right? And they speak about God. They talk, somebody has become God. Somebody is God. Somebody is an incarnation. Huh? Some human they'll show in this life and they'll say, oh, he's the avatar. He has come. He's God. What knowledge you have of what is the greatness of God? I'll read the explanation of Jambudvipa. Where does your so-called God fit in this? Huh? He can't even understand this. Ask that God to read this chapter and tell what he understood. Forget about creating this chapter. Right? If somebody claims he is God, give him Canto 5, ask him to read chapter 16 and explain to you pictorially what he understood. I can guarantee that fellow will run away. You cannot. You cannot. Acharyas can. They have a spiritual vision. They can actually see how Krishna created this material world and the whole universe. But this fake, gurus and fake spiritual institutions is cheating people, dividing families, taking away, women, from the houses, taking away boys from the houses, giving some illusionary philosophy, saying that they will become gods. It's so silly. In the name of Sanatana Dharma, using our own names, our devatas, these people are cheating. Huh? This is Kali Yuga. This is Kali Yuga. You can't do anything. Nobody is right to read what is there in the scripture. Now let us see what Sukadeva Goswami is going to tell. Text 5. The planetary system known as Bhumandala resembles a lotus flower. So it's like a lotus, right? And its 7 islands resemble the whole of that lotus. The length and breadth of that island is known as Jambudvipa. You've seen, right? On that Mount Meru is there all mountain. That is Jambudvipa, right? Which is situated in the middle of the world, are 1 million yojanas. That is 8 million miles. Hare Krishna. This is the size of Jambudvipa. Jambudvipa is round like a leaf of a lotus flower. Text 6. In Jambudvipa, there are 9 divisions of land, each with a strength of 9,000 yojanas, which is like 72,000 miles. There are 8 mountains that mark the boundaries of these divisions and separate them nicely. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is giving more detail from Vayu Purana. So there are so many scriptures which refer and give glimpses of this material universe. Text 7. Amidst these divisions or varshas is the varsha named Ilavrata, which is Ilavrata, which is situated in the middle of the whole of the lotus. Within Ilavrata Varsha is Sumeru mountain, which is made of gold. Sumeru mountain is like the pericarp of the lotus-like Bhumandala planetary system. The mountain's height is the same as the width of Jambudvipa, or in other words, 1 lakh yojanas, or 8 million miles. Of that, 16,000 yojanas, or 128,000 miles, are within the earth. And therefore, the mountain's height above the earth is 84,000 yojanas. The mountain's width is 32,000 yojanas. That is 256,000 miles. as it submit and 16,000 yojanas at its base. कुछ समझ में आया किसी को? समझ में आया?
Don't remember anything.
Huh? Prabhus, let's become humble. Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarulapi Saishna, Mananiya Manadana, Kirtanesa. What is that? This we can't understand one island. In one of the Brahmandas of the material world, we have the guts to comment about God. And to the worst scenario is one fellow says, I am God. The only thing we have produced, mark my words, our only contribution to this material world is what?
Service.
Huh?
Service.
No, for a materialistic person, the only contribution to this material world is carbon dioxide and stool. That's all we have contributed. No matter what big education you have taken, no matter what great thing you think about yourself, your only contribution is you breathed the very nice oxygen and you have released carbon dioxide. So that is your contribution, giving carbon dioxide, right? From all holes, whatever you call it. And second is stool. You ate nice vegetables and grains given by God, and you have given out stool. So carbon dioxide and stool is the achievement of a materialistic person on this planet. Nothing more. Everything else you can say, I have done this, I have done this. Who cares what you have done, right? A materialistic person doesn't have even the gratitude to appreciate what God has given, right? But he thinks he's great. But a spiritual person's contribution is his gratitude towards God. And the gratitude is expressed in the form of poems, bhajans, and heartfelt conversations like Srimad Bhagavatam. Both Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj are glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead while they explain the Jambudvipa, while they explain the material world. Right? That's the truth. Anybody who doesn't have time to understand the glories of God from Srimad Bhagavatam is a burden on the planet. He is only producing two things. What are the two things he is producing? Carbon dioxide and steel. That's all. He is nothing else on this planet. Nothing else. Right? So he continues. Wherever we can understand a little, I'll stop. Right? I mean, we can understand. We need guidance here. I recommend everyone to read the books written by His Holiness Danveer Goswami Maharaj. Right? Danveer Goswami Maharaj is disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and he is an expert in Vedic cosmology. He has written many books on Vedic cosmology, very big books in Vedic cosmology, where he tries to explain this whole material world and the structure and the dvipas and everything with a lot of scientific understanding. Danveer Goswami, you can mark that name. His Holiness Danveer Goswami Maharaj ki jai. I had met this Maharaj once in New Vrindavan. I had thanked the Maharaj that Maharaj, your study on cosmology is going to benefit generations and generations. And not only Maharaj, there are many other disciples of the Maharaj, and there are others, Prabhupada disciples who are scientists who came and understood a little bit of this, and they explained in simple words in many books. I have some of Danveer Goswami Maharaj books in my house. Never got a time to read them, but I just kept them with me. So, the whole knowledge is there. It is only revealed to sincere, pure devotees. Materialistic person can't understand what it is. Even if he goes with a scale of knowledge, pole to post, he can't understand, he can't make out anything out of it. Anything at all. Right? Yeah. So Sukadeva Goswami continues in eighth verse. Just north of Ailavrata Varsha and going further northward, one after another, there are three mountains named Nila, Shweta, and Shringavan. These mark the borders of the three Varshas named Ramyaka, Hiranmaya, and Kuru. and separate them from one another. The width of these mountains is 2000 yojanas, 16,000 miles. Width of the mountain is 16,000 miles. Can you imagine what kind of mountain are we talking about? 16,000 miles. Lengthwise, they extend east and west to the beaches of the ocean of salt water. Going from south to north, the length of each mountain is 1/10 that of the previous mountain, but the height of them all is the same. So Prabhupada says in the verse that even moon planet is very far. Many people reach the moon. They think they have reached the moon planet. They actually go to Rahu planet. Prabhupada said. And again, a lot of people left when Prabhupada said landing on moon is a hoax. We all know that it was a hoax. The last 60 years, what more did they do after that? 1960s, they landed on moon. Till now, they have not done anything, which means they never landed on moon. They also know that. And what they call is moon is actually Rahu. Text 9. Similarly, south of Ilavrata Varsha and extending from east to west are the three great mountains named from north to south: Nishada, Hemakuta, and Himalaya. Each of them is 10,000 yojanas or 80,000 miles high. They mark the boundaries of the three Varshas named Harivarsha, Kimpurusha Varsha, and Bharata Varsha, India. Bharata Varsha is India. Text 10. In the same way, west and east of Ilavrata Varsha are two great mountains named Malyavan and Gandhamadana, respectively. These two mountains, which are 1,000 yojanas or 16,000 miles high, extend as far as Neela Mountain in the forest in the north and Nishada in the south. They indicate the borders of Ilavrata Varsha and also the Varsha known as the Ketumala and Bhadrasva. Text 11. On the four sides of the great mountain known as Meru are four mountains: Mandara, Meru Mandara, Suparshva, and Kumada, which are like its belts. The height and length, the length and height of these mountains are calculated to be 10,000 yojanas, 80,000 miles. Krishna, how can we imagine this? We can't imagine this. So what is the lesson we are learning? Don't try to imagine God. I'm seeing God in the moon. I'm seeing his image in a shadow. I'm seeing here. I'm seeing this nonsense. That kind of bogus philosophies, bogus understandings we should not come up with. You can't understand energy of God. What do you understand? Energetic. Only through bhakti. Bhaktos Saka Cheti Rahasyam Edaduttamam. Krishna says in 4th chapter, this whole Rahasya is revealed only when you become a devotee of mine. Without becoming a devotee, by doing some philanthropy, by doing some donations, by doing little whatever meditation, you can't achieve God. You can't understand God. You can't understand anything about God. Text 12. Standing like flagships on the summits of these four mountains are a mango tree. Haribol! Mango season has started, but the original mango trees were on the summits of these mountains. You see the trees right on that video. On the top of the mountain, there are trees. So one is a mango tree, a rose apple tree, a kadamba tree, and a banyan tree. There is no dragon fruit tree, right? So people who like to eat such stupid fruit, I don't know what damage it is going to do to our health in the future. Nobody knows. It's a foreign land created. Avoid non-local fruits, even if they're tasty, to the extent possible. Those trees are calculated to have a width of 100 yojanas. 8,000 miles is the width of a tree. Have anybody seen a tree which is 1 mile wide? Or, can't even imagine, right? Tree maximum how much wide it will be? Maybe, I don't know, 200 feet. That's it. Here is talking about 8,000 miles is the width of the tree, and height is 8,800 miles. 8,800 miles is the height. How high is Burj Khalifa? How high is Himalayas? Here we are talking about a tree. Their branches are also spread to a radius of Hare Krishna. 1,100, again 8,800 yojanas, 8,800 miles. The radius of the branches. 13 and 14. Oh, Maharaj Parikshit, the best of the Bharata dynasty, between these four mountains are four huge lakes. Now, everybody, come on, be ready. I'm going to tell something nice. The water of the first tastes like milk, just like milk. Four lakes are there. One full milk. No need to buy milk anywhere. You can go and take milk from here. The water of the second is like honey. And that of the third, like sugarcane juice. And the fourth lake is filled with pure water. The celestial beings, such as the Siddhas, Charanas, and Gandharvas, who are also known as demigods, enjoy the facilities of these four lakes. Consequently, they have natural perfections of mystic yoga, such as the power to become smaller than the smallest or greater than the greatest. There are also four celestial gardens named Nandana, Chaitraratha, Vairajika, and Sarvatobhadra. Celestial gardens, there are gardens around the lakes. Text 15. The best of the demigods, along with their wives, who are like ornaments of heavenly beauty, meet together and enjoy within those gardens while their glories are sung by lesser demigods known as Gandharvas. So Devatas are enjoying with their wives and Gandharvas are doing background music, right? So background music they are playing. Same thing is copied in Bollywood also, right? Hero and heroine, they go into a garden and suddenly music starts. Suddenly, drums start. Suddenly background music, suddenly song. And suddenly you see 20 others coming and dancing behind the hero. Only our Indian movie industry could have imagined that. Because actually the imagination is coming from the scriptures. See, it's being told. Devatas are enjoying in the garden and Gandharvas are giving background music. Did Hollywood come up with any concept like this? They can't. They have no access. They can't imagine. I'm not saying what they're showing in our Indian film industry is as per the scriptures. I'm saying somewhere it's a perverted reflection of what is mentioned in scriptures, right? Background music, dancing. Text 16. On the lower slopes of Mandara mountain is a mango tree named Devachuta. Come on, Devachuta mountain mangoes. Who all wants? It is 1,100 yojanas, again 8,800 miles high. Mangoes are as big as mountain peaks. Hare Krishna, what size of a mango? Without a carbide, by the way. So, as high as mountain peaks and as sweet as nectar fall from the top of this tree for the enjoyment of the denizens of heaven. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Mango juice is flowing. Not the juice that we make in our grinders. The juice that actually is flowing after the fruit is ready to be eaten and it's naturally flowing. Hare Krishna. But Prabhus, whoever tries to enjoy the juice of mango, will have to suffer in this material world. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanu darshanam. Remember this. Whatever great material world we are talking about, Brahma Punaloko, Punavartino. You have to come back here again and again. And you have to, maybe we all went to those lands. No one, see, if somebody likes mangoes, maybe in past lives, you've taken this mangoes juice, right, from this tree, maybe, I don't know. When all those solid fruits fall from such a height, they break. So they say, such a 8,800 miles when the fruit falls down, can you imagine how it breaks? They break and the sweet fragrant juice within them flows out and becomes increasingly more fragrant as it mixes with other scents. That juice cascades from the mountain in waterfalls and becomes a river called Anurodha, which flows pleasantly through the eastern side of Ailavrata. So on the eastern side, there is a river that is coming, which is Anurodha, and nothing but mango juice. Not our kind of mango juice. Really sweet, really natural, organic, right? I think the only unorganic thing is we human beings. Everything else is organic. We've completely made the world into unorganic. Text 18. The pious wives of the Yakshas act as the personal maid servants to assist Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva. Because they drink the water of the river Anurodha, their bodies become fragrant, and as the air carries away that fragrance, it perfumes the entire atmosphere for 80 miles around. Very bold. Text 19. Similarly, the fruits of the jambu tree, which are full of pulp and have very small seed, fall from the great height and break into pieces. Those fruits are the size of elephants, and the juice gliding from them becomes a river named Jambunadi. This river falls at distance of 10,000 yojanas, my God, from the summit of Meru Mandara to the southern side of Ilavrita and floods the entire land of Ilavrita with juice. Prabhupada says, we can only imagine how much juice there might be in a fruit that is the size of an elephant, but has a very tiny seed, very tiny seed. Naturally, the juice from the broken jumbo fruits forms waterfalls and floods the entire land of Ilavrita. That juice produces an immense quantity of gold, and as will be explained in the next verses. So, gold is nothing but dried mango juice. The mud, text 22, 20 and 21. The mud on both banks of the river Jambu Nadi, being moistened by the flowing juice and then dried by the air or sunshine, and the sunshine produces huge quantities of gold called Jambu Nada. Jambu Nada. The gold is another Jambu Nada. The denizens of heaven use this gold for various kinds of ornaments. Therefore, all the inhabitants of the heavenly planets and their useful wives are fully decorated with gold helmets, bangles, and belts, and thus they enjoy life. Hare Krishna. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati says gold is yellow stool. Just in the 2 chapters before, the same gold was being explained as yellow stool by Jada Bharata to Raghuvana. And 2 chapters later, we're talking how the gold comes from. Prabhupada gives a big purport explaining the unfortunate situation of governments who think they can make money. What money will you make? The gold is coming from Jambudvipa. Don't recognize that. Prabhupada says in the purport, sometimes these unfortunate people want to be promoted to the heavenly planet to achieve fortunate positions as described in this verse, but the pure devotees of the Lord are not at all interested in such opulence. The devotees sometimes compare the color of gold to that of bright golden stool. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has instructed devotees not to be allured by gold ornaments and beautiful decorated women. Nadanam, Najanam, Nasundarim. A devotee should not be allured by gold, beautiful women, or the prestige of having many followers. Text 22. On the side of Suparshva mountain stands a big tree called Mahakadamba, which is very celebrated. From the hollows of this tree flow 5 rivers of honey, each about 5 vyamas wide. Honey is flowing, honey, right? When we put honey on the Supreme Lord, during Abhishekam, we'll be doing Abhishekam for Gaur Purnima now, very soon. We think so many honeys, so much honey we are putting, so much costly honey we are putting, so much honey is put. What so much? There is a river of honey, oceans of honey, in this material world. And Supreme Lord creation. This flowing honey falls incessantly on top of the Suparsva mountain and flows all around Ailavrata Varsha, beginning from the western side. Thus, the whole land is saturated with pleasing fragrance. Text 23. The air carrying the scent from the mouths of those who think that honey perfumes the land for 100 yojanas around. 100 yojanas. 800 miles. I don't know. the fragrance of honey is going so far. That is the kind of size is being spoken here, right? Text 24. Similarly, on Kumada mountain, there is a great banyan tree which is called Satavalsha because it has 100 main branches. From those branches come many roots from which many rivers are flowing. These rivers flow down from the top of the mountain to the northern side of the Ilavrita Varsha for the benefit of those who live there. Because of these flowing rivers, all the people have ample supplies of milk, yogurt, honey, clarified butter, which is ghee, molasses, food grains, clothes, bedding, seating places, and ornaments. All the objects they desire are sufficiently supplied for their prosperity, and therefore they are very. So again, they are an illusion. All these devatas, they will get it. They will again have to take birth. Just imagine you are in that I love with the northern side, and you're getting gold flowing in your house and putting all that. And next life you have taken birth in Gachibowli. You have to work like a dog to make even 1 gram of gold. So what is the use of living in the material world? 25. The residents of the material world who enjoy the products of these flowing rivers have no wrinkles. No wrinkles. No wrinkles. See these wrinkles? They don't have any wrinkles on their bodies, and no gray hair. No gray hair. Even if I am dying now, so you can see no gray hair. Inside there is still gray hair, right? You can't hide it. But they don't get any gray hair. They never feel fatigue, and perspiration does not give their bodies bad odor. Bad odor. Can you imagine how much bad odor we spread? But they don't have any such because they are eating such natural, things directly flowing into their houses. They are not afflicted by old age, disease, or untimely death. Untimely death is not there. Death is there. Untimely death is not there. What is untimely death? Before you become old, you die. So they become old and they die. But their old age also is not seen. The problem is you look young and you look young and you feel you are young, you feel that you're more beautiful, you have all nice body odor, you look nice complexion, suddenly you'll die. How did it do suddenly? Yeah, became old, your time is over. In a way, it's advantageous for all of us that we are seeing old age, so we know that death is coming closer. Anyway, I don't know what is advantage or disadvantage. Death is still death, right? They are not afflicted by old age, disease, or untimely death. They do not suffer from chilly cold or scorching heat, nor do their bodies lose their luster. They all live happily without anxieties until death. The beauty is this. They all live happily without anxiety until death. So until death, they are not in anxiety. Death comes, they are in anxiety. What is the use of that life? Prabhupada explains about their bodies a little more. Sorry, I have to take this call. I'm sorry about that. It's coming from the center, so I have to take it 1 minute. Back. Prabhupada writes in the purport, I'm reading the end. How can people be happy? They must suffer from all misery of materialism. Their bodies become wrinkled and gradually deteriorate until they become almost like dwarfs, or a bad odor emanates, and a bad odor emanates from their bodies because of unclean perspiration resulting from eating all kinds of nasty things. This is not even civilization. If people actually want happiness in this life and want to prepare for the best of their next life, they must adopt a Vedic civilization. In Vedic civilization, there is full supply of all necessities mentioned above. Right? So this is how they are given. Text 26. There are other mountains beautifully arranged around the foot of Meru mountain, like the filaments around the wall of a lotus flower. Their names are Kuranga, Kurara, Kusumba, Vaikanka, Trikuta, Sisira, Patanga, Rechaka, Nishada, Sini Vasa, not Srinivasa, Srinivasa, Kapila, Shankha, Vaidurya, Jarudhi, Hamsha, Rishabha, Naga, Kalanjara, and Narada. These are what? Mountains. Text 27. On the eastern side of Sumeru mountain are two mountains named Jathara and Devakuta, which extend to the north and south for 18,000 yojanas, 144,000 miles. My God. Similarly, on the west side of Sumeru are two mountains named Pavana and Pariyatra, which also extend north and south for the same distance. On the southern side of Sumeru are two mountains called Kailasha and Karavira, which extend east and west for 18,000 yojanas. And on the northern side of Sumeru, extending for the same distance, each east and west, are two mountains named Trisranga and Makara. The width and height of these mountains is 2,000 yojanas, 60,000 miles. Where a mountain of solid gold, shining as brilliant as fire, is surrounded by these 8 mountains. Text 28. In the middle of the summit of Meru is the township of Lord Brahma. Each of its 4 sides is calculated to extend for 10 million yojanas, 80 million miles, 80 million miles. This is Brahma's township. Huh? It is made entirely of gold, entire gold, 80 million miles. And therefore, learned scholars and sages call it Satakaumbi. Text 29. Surrounding Brahmapuri in all directions are the residences of 8 principal governors of the planetary systems, beginning with King Indra. These abodes are similar to Brahmapuri, but are 1/4 the size. Hare Krishna. Thus ends the Bhakti and the purports of the 5th canto, 16th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Description of Jambu Dvipa. One person, he calls himself Sadashiva. He opened an island of his own and is claiming that he is God. One fellow created his own place somewhere in Kerala, and he calls himself the source of all yogis. What do you call this kind of people? Intelligent. What do you call their followers? Maha-intelligent. Maha-intelligent materially. So the cheated goes to the cheater. Babas, Ammas, little small miracles. Huh? Can anybody imagine what is Jambudvipa? Jambudvipa is nothing in come. You know what? After in Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, after telling the whole universal form, he says, Arjuna, why are you asking all these things? These are all, whatever I told is a spark in a splendor. Meaning there is a big forest fire, one spark comes out. Whatever he showed to Arjuna, or the opulences that he was trying to explain in relation to the material world, are a spark in a splendor. Hare Krishna. I am humbled in front of God. Jai Shri Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha. Nadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna, you are great. You are great. There is nobody more great. Matta Parataram Nyanda. Kinchidastu Dhanandaya. There is nobody equal to you. Nobody superior to you. Because your every creation is so humbling. Yes. So anybody wants to share anything, or we can close. What did you feel? Let us spend 10 seconds, 30 seconds. Please, everybody, if it's okay, please come on your screen and share what did you feel hearing this chapter. It was waste of time because we didn't understand anything, or it was worthy, time worthy? If it's time worthy, then what did you understand? What is your conclusion?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, from this chapter, what I can reflect is what we see and what we imagine also is not enough for the God. And no, as Arjuna felt, no, Virat Rupa, Vishwarupa, and he couldn't take it. As you said, when he requested Krishna to come back his original form, so when Arjuna can't even imagine or can't even take it, take the virtual form, the Virat form of Krishna, and there is with our limited senses, we can't even imagine. Or as you said, people, they say, I saw God in cloud, I saw God in moon, and some people claim themselves to be gods. So that is never ever possible, and the only possibility to reach Krishna is through spiritual master and through service. That is the only way we can imagine Krishna. Otherwise, with our limited senses, there is no chance at all to even imagine the form of Krishna. That is what I felt, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandut Pranam, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, today the class is so very interesting, Prabhuji. What I like the most is what you have said. Our contribution is only the carbon dioxide and stool.
My interpretation. It's not Bhagavatam.
Yes, Prabhuji, that is real, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Don't tell anybody. Please connect this side. If you go outside International School of Business, and if some student is coming out in a big blazer and you tell him your only contribution is stool and carbon dioxide, sit there. Yes, Prabhu. Prasad Prabhu, you are in a temple. Tell me.
Yeah, I mean, Chandra, please take a look. You just glorified Sri Krishna. Okay, I'm just showing the darshan of Sri Rama Prabhu. This is first Ganapati. This is Nizampet Ramaline temple.
Yes. बोल रामचंद्र भगवान की जय, सीताराम लक्ष्मण भगवान की जय.
Now you will see.
Jai. This is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Jambudvip is entire thing is just a dust at his lotus feet. It's not even a dust actually. It's more than that. Right? Very well. Thank you for the wonderful darshan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam. So
Yes.
originally this chapter was assigned to me, so I was like trying to wonder what needs to be done. So eventually it came to you, fortunately, and you did it 1,000 times better. Yeah, but when I was preparing, I was seeing this Vedic cosmology. There were some videos by Pranavanand Prabhu, who had done a very detailed study. He is in the GEV with Gaurang Darshan Prabhu, and he had given wonderful description about the various things. But very important thing that he mentioned was about the intention, that why we should study this particular chapter. So he was talking about that this will help us appreciate the involvement of Supreme Personality of Godhead in the well-being of every living entity that is there in the world. So imagine what he has created, and that his greatness we can actually kind of perceive with the whole descriptions about the different miles. Like you were saying, the mango tree is 8,000 miles. So we can even imagine that how much, how he had created. So how can we not appreciate his greatness if we look that? And about the subject matter, why it is very important is many people assume that these are all material worldly details, but by making it like so magnificent and so larger than life, we understand the transcendental nature of that janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvatah. So that is how
No,
divya.
But tell me, Mataji, you tell somebody, Amma, please come and understand God every week. Come to the class and they tell we don't have time. क्या बोलेंगे ऐसे?
उनका कर्मा बोलेंगे प्रभु जी.
इनकंटे में तो
వాళ్ళ कर्मा. If instead of this, if people are engaged in hearing politics and news and everything, then I feel very sad for them. That's all. What can I say?
My child has a karate class. My child has a taekwondo class. My child has a mathematics class. Once in a week also, I don't have time to understand what is God.
Yes, Prabhuji. So that's what, Prabhuji. This is a wonderful chapter. I think, like, if we just look at it superficially, then it's just numbers and details. But if you understand it internally, it actually shows how great the Supreme Lord is and how He's taking care of all our well-being in every small little detail, and how His engineering is so amazing. Like, and like you said, I think last time, that when if it is like he's created such magnificent bodies, living beings, which can reproduce themselves, whereas if man creates a laptop, then my laptop cannot recreate. Radhesham Prabhuji. Yes.
Laptop
So,
and what did you say? Laptop and desktop cannot
laptop
produce
and desktop cannot create palm top. So yeah. So that is the limited knowledge that we have in that. Also, we feel so great if there is a small innovation that is new to our eyes, which again after 10 years will be redundant.
How many
So
are waiting for iPhone 15?
15 is over, Prabhuji. Now they're waiting for 16.
iPhone 16. How many are waiting? There is a new feature. You know what is that feature? You can hear your wife shouting more clearly on you. Or your husband. Or your husband. Very clearly. Resound will come. Yeah.
That's all. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavad Pranam.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Two takeaways, Prabhu. Carbon dioxide and stool, Prabhu. Can never forget.
Don't quote that, it is my interpretation. My frustrated interpretation.
Yeah. So by just remembering these two, we become humble, Prabhu. At least we can try to be. At least I can try to be humble. That's all. That is the only hope, Prabhu. That's all. Still, I am not humble, but I can try attempt, Prabhu.
మా అబ్బాయి ఎంబీఏ చేసిండు, మా అబ్బాయి సిఏ చేసిండు, మా అబ్బాయి హార్వర్డ్ నుంచి చేసిండు. దాని తర్వాత ఏం చేసిండు? కార్బన్ డైఆక్సైడ్ స్టోర్. అదే కాంట్రిబ్యూషన్.
Thank you, Prabhu. So straight and so blunt. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Wonderful session, Prabhu. Haribol.
Anybody
really
else? Who wants to buy a villa in this Jambudvipa? Somebody might be thinking that also. It's బాగుంది. ఇప్పుడు నియోపోలిస్ తెల్లాపూర్ కంటే కొంచెం బాగుంది కదా, ఆర్ గచ్చిబౌలి. నాలాంటి అది కూడా ఆలోచిస్తారు. I think we should invest now in Jambudvipa, because when the price increases, we can sell for more. That's what I am thinking.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji, mana Gaganyaan, they are trying to put a spacecraft in space 400 kilometers from Earth. That is the plan, 400 kilometers. అంటే ఈ లెక్కన నాకు డౌట్ వస్తుంది ప్రభుజీ, మనకి శాస్త్రంలో ఎక్కడన్నా అసలు ఎర్త్ యొక్క ఎంత అంటే ఎర్త్ సైజ్ మేబీ ఇప్పటికంటే చాలా పెద్దగా ఉండేదేమో అప్పుడు అనిపిస్తుంది ప్రభుజీ.
purportedly చెప్పిండు that we can, some scientific we can measure it, but then it is never accurate. పర్పట్లో ఉంది, చదవలేదు పర్పట్. Never be accurate. Yeah, we can go somewhere closer to understanding.
ఓకే ప్రభుజీ.
Bhumandala is as big as sun's rays are going and heat is going. అంత పెద్ద ఉంది భూమండలం.
ఓకే ప్రభుజీ.
దాంట్లో అర్థం ఎక్కడ ఉన్నది? దాంట్లో ఇండియా ఎక్కడ ఉన్నది, భారతవర్ష ఎక్కడ ఉన్నది, దాంట్లో హైదరాబాద్ ఎక్కడ ఉన్నది, సారీ భాగ్యనగర్ ఎక్కడ ఉన్నది, ఆ భాగ్యనగరంలో గచ్చిబౌలి ఎక్కడ ఉన్నది, గచ్చిబౌలిలో నార్సింగ్ ఎక్కడ ఉన్నది, నార్సింగ్లో ముప్పై ఎక్కడ ఉన్నది, ముప్పాల మీద ఏదో బ్లాక్ ఉన్నది డి కదా, బ్లాక్ 4 902 ఐ డోంట్ నో ఎక్కడ ఉన్నది. దాంట్లో మీరు ఏ రూమ్ లో కూర్చున్నారు, అక్కడ కూర్చొని మీరు చెప్తున్నారు ఈ విషయం. హరే కృష్ణ.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
థ్యాంక్ యూ. ఎనీబడి ఎల్స్ ఆర్ వి కెన్ ర్యాప్ అప్? Okay, so thank you for your time, thank you for joining, just to understand the greatness of the Supreme Lord, how beautiful he is and how beautiful his creation is, but we don't want to fall for the beauty of material world, because our duty is to get out of this material world, right? Don't fall for the beauty, always remember your duty. Hari Bol. My little poem today. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
हरे
Dandavat pranam Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.